Celeritas, and my name's Webbo, your commentator for the evening, joined by Bacon in chat. Hello, Bacon.
Hello.
Great to have you here again. You'll be able to try and give us an impartial view on proceedings tonight, as far as possible, as a regular Formula C team driver. But we have had a few switches around, haven't we?
Yes, just a couple.
Just to keep everybody on their toes, yeah.
Or who went where, because I didn't see any announcements about it.
Yeah, perhaps most confusingly of all, we've got one driver having changed teams entirely from Scuderia Joker's team and has moved to OWP. OWP have actually changed their livery to be closer to what Scuderia Joker's team was as well. It's all over the place. But generally speaking, people are in the right kind of seats. I think Waitsy has joined one of the teams, Bacon, as well as a last-minute stand-in.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's with Versace Couture, is that how you say it?
Versace Couture, yeah?
Yeah.
Not someone who wears a lot of Versace then, Bacon.
Oh no.
No. As you can see by the cones signifying that we're on one of the short tracks, we're going to Bahrain short track, but we are going to do a 100% race around there, which should equal around and about something similar to our normal race time. Short qualifying as always, and we're going to get going. Hopefully nobody hits that massive tyre barrier just past the cones.
It'd be funny to see at least one person.
Surely after like last weekend's divisional races, someone's going to turn left at turn 3, right?
Yeah, I saw it happen a little bit in one of my leagues where he had just done a full F2 and then Bahrain short after that. At least 2 people took it flat out after 2.
Yeah, it's gonna upset people's rhythm somewhat, for sure. And Bacon and I have decided we're going to call the corner names by their real names or numbers relative to the main track tonight. So turn 3 will lead to turn 9, almost just to avoid confusion, because it's hard enough remembering numerical corner names at the best of times. So welcome if you're joining us on the stream. Tell us who you are, tell us who you're here to support, and we'll try and let you know what's going on with everybody. Fry Pepper's in with, he says, a new livery, so let's take a look at that first of all. I'll have a check-in with him. It is a little bit difficult to tell their team, which I very unkindly last week renamed as Prawn GP, given that they were pink and known as Prawn. But Prawn GP colour scheme is a little bit hard to tell apart from Blaze Motorsport, at least to my poor eyesight. What do you think, Bacon?
Yeah, the colours are definitely similar.
Here we go, look. Right, so they've gone for a sort of crimson with a gold trim and a navy blue. That's actually quite smart.
I think I kind of like this better.
Yeah.
They showed up with last week.
For sure, yeah. No, that is quite a bit nicer actually. So maybe it was the backup. Maybe it was all deliberate, and they just were trolling us last week. There's another new. Is this beta up ahead, which looks
I think so.
as much of a mixed bag as I remember that awful ING Renault livery that Alonso won the Singapore Grand Prix in. Looked like an explosion in a paint factory, and this is a little bit similar.
Does not look nice. Oh god.
Yeah, apologies to Beta, but could you change that back, please? And talk about distracting. He's already spun round just from a headache, I think, from looking at his own halo. Not good. Anyway, let's give Fry Pepper some screen time because he's decided to start his hot lap already. Obviously, short track. It's time to go. So we wonder who's going to be the first one to take the wrong turning at turn 3. Either Bacon's making funny noises or that's his cat.
She's decided to join me.
Excellent.
Oh, getting feisty on me.
Let's take a look. Let's set up the screen properly so you can all see what's going on. That's okay. I know we've got I've got pets as well. Usually my pets are just telling me it's dinner time while I'm trying to stream. Tom HC first fast lap 57.9, One Blood 58.8. So Gwyneth 59.4. So big splits despite the small track. It's quite spread out, isn't it?
Quite a lot faster than I thought it would be.
Is that you saying that you're somewhat relieved you're not doing these laps?
I think my fastest was around the 57 on not a fresh track, on a rubbing-in track, fresh soft. So
yeah.
The fact that there's a 57 out there, which is within a second of what my lap was, it's a bit scary.
Gogs tells us, Gogs, part of OWP, said they had to change their livery because their new team member didn't have the right livery. But I agree, you had to change it, but you didn't have to do that, Gogs. You didn't have to do that. One Blood has put a lap in and disappeared. Maybe he's lost his time. Fry Pepper 58.3, so goes into second place. But I think we're going to see multiple times under 58 seconds tonight.
Yeah, I think the fastest we can expect maybe 56 something.
Wow.
Not quite sure if Tom or Fry Pepper is up to that, or maybe Price. I know he's had some pace around, hasn't he?
Yeah, BMW Sauber resorting to the B and C drivers tonight with Julian not present. I'll leave it to the chat to decide who's the B and who's the C in the team. Maybe we should just consult the standings, but yeah, Julian's usually far and away the quickest on that team, and I'm looking forward to seeing Tom and Julian in the same race again because it was fireworks, and Pricey invalidates his lap. So Tom still in the lead. Monarch, typically a nice quick early time from Monarch in a 58.5. Who else do we have on track? Lightning's out there, or Lighting, as I think he's been renamed this week. There's been all kinds of chat about that one going on. But yes, Lightning in the Audi Motorsport team is out there. So apologies. I think we're both reading the reading the chat, and we can't repeat everything. Lightning goes a little bit leery on traction out of turn 2. It's probably it needs to be one of those laps that's perfect all the way round when the margins are so tight, Bacon.
Well, it's not like a normal track. The splits here, although they look fairly big, if you were to put it onto a normal track like the normal Bahrain layout, it would probably look a lot closer than what it looks right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's
but one small mistake is magnified across.
For sure, especially
big percentage of the lap. Yeah.
Yeah, like turn 2 and 3, your car can get, depending on your setup, very loose, trying to swing to the right side and avoid the barriers ahead of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruno's on a lap. Oh dear, this is horrible. This livery. I'm trying to find something good to say about it, but they've taken the Versace pattern and just gone awful, really.
Doesn't really fit the livery.
Okay. FedEx Runner joins us in the chat. Nice to have you joining us on the YouTube. Good to see you on the channel. Bruno goes 59.3, so lots of improvement to make there. I think Waitsy though out there in the Versace Couture cheap version. I think this is kind of the Versace that you get at Portobello Road, Bacon. But all the same, Waitsy P3 58.3
might not look the best, but it's definitely up there.
It's Versace with a misspelling on it, or a missing rhinestone or something. But Josh Unknown in the Fraun GP has gone second as well, so very cool. Let's join Tom HC on his lap. Let's see how he's getting on. Is it worth doing back-to-back laps here, Bacon?
I think so. There's no real point for you to not use the same tyres for at least 2 to 3 laps for themselves, because there's hardly any tyre wear. You could go around 4 laps and lose maybe half a tenth on the same tyres. So
Tom's going to head in, so that's kind of annoying. Beetle's on a sector.
Doing that extra lap as well kind of helps with saving away tyre temperatures for your actual lap.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we saw at was it Portimao in real life, where they did an extra out lap to get their tyres warm up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very, very similar to that.
Looks like Waitsy's just started a hot lap, Bacon. Could you take us around this very short lap?
Normal turn 1 and 2. You want to get a little bit off the throttle here though, so you don't spin the car. Very tight apex, take it as wide as possible, clip what is the turn 9 apex. Then PRS, one of few, there's only 2 on this track, there should be a third one on the Sector 3 straight, but that's spinner.
Lightning during pirouettes, yeah.
That's the pirouette. Very nice and clean. You can take a lot of the curb coming out of, what is that, usually 11? And then you kind of want to take as much curb and not touch the inside like he is there, otherwise you'll unsettle the car.
Yeah.
And not get the best exit down to the 9.
But a faster
very
time.
Short lap of 58.
Yeah, a faster time from Waitsy moves up to second, so very nice. Nicely done from him. Tom's gone in the pits and so has Fry Pepper. Currently the Fraun GPs, now I'm getting a bit of a glitch in terms of the audio sound on the engines, but I'm presuming you're not seeing that at the moment.
No.
Okay. Okay. Quinn's on a lap. Big question for Quinn, is he going to finish the race today? Quinn does a lot of race days.
That's commentator's curse at its finest.
No, the commentator's curse is when you say they're about to win or overtake or something. When you just accurately predict something.
Oh, and he's being disqualified. Oh no.
Oh dear, Quinn. My heartfelt apologies. That's pretty awful. But yes, we've had an apology, I think, to me and I think to everybody for the OWP livery. So Tom is going a little bit faster, it looks like. Let's go on board with him. Let's see what he's up to. Maximising the width of the track there, really all the way out on past the white line, and is rewarded with a tiny delta under his fastest time. Is it fair to say a lot of the time is gained or lost through this section, Bacon, of the lap?
I'd say a lot of the time is gained at that first sector of corners, because it's very awkward to get your car around that without getting wheel spin coming out of 3 or just not spinning it.
Looks like Tom is slightly under. Let's see what he gets when he goes to marginally sets an even faster time. I think Tom is really nearing the limit now of his performance on this setup. Whether he goes in and redoes the setup, I think he's cruising now. I think that's everything. What about strategy, Bacon? Is it going to be something similar to what we saw on this very track, different layout earlier on in the season?
With the amount of straight that there is, you can't exactly use the hard tyres the same way, because it's not the normal sector 1 and 2 where you have the S's at the top of the hill, so your tyres aren't exactly warm, and there's a lot of straight, so your tyres will cool down on that straight. So I don't think the hards would be viable. Remember, it's somewhat like a 2-stop, soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, soft. Okay. But I don't think we'll see any hards.
Monarch goes P3. Right on the cusp of the 58-second barrier. We were just watching Beetle get it wrong on his latest lap as well, so I think he's pushing very, very hard. Have we got Storm out there? Price is invalidated again. Storm is out there on the sand. I'm struggling to select a driver who isn't going wrong somewhere. I think, is it just tight margins that's forcing people to make mistakes?
It's also just that, like, that bit of the track is so awkward because you have to flick the car around and take as much apex as you can without spinning the car effectively from getting on throttle too heavily. So it's a very technical, I would say, as Pricey goes around to proves my point.
Bruno goes faster though. Bruno 58 point. So P9 in there. Somebody called Sam is in the chat. I mean, that's kind of what we're here for, but so I wonder. I don't know if Sam is Beetle or somebody else connected to OWP. Let's follow Lightning and see if Lightning can complete a lap here. He's got a purple first sector. I think that's going to be relative to himself, given his only time is pretty slow at this point. So almost 50% slow. Yeah. Bruno hogging the road. Oh, that's really cost Lightning. That's pretty awful, honestly.
Although it is a fresh soft, so even if he misses out on this lap, if he just goes around again.
Yeah, he overcooked that final corner as well. Yeah, I think overcooked the final corner. So Sam has outed himself as being Beetle. Lightning goes P7 despite all of that, so let's follow him along because I think he might have more in the tank. Struggling to get out of 2 safely, and it looks like so tempting to cut turn 3. Cut the apex of turn 3, and that must be where a lot of our drivers are invalidating. No, Lightning is significantly over here. I'm surprised, you know, that Lightning's livery isn't this red with a yellow, reminiscent of Lightning McQueen. Oh dear, Lightning, we've just seen you skip across the apex of one of the corners. Someone's going to report you for that. Found you on stream. The Apex police are out there, and they will report what they see on the stream.
It's fine. No one was on a hot lap around him. It's fine.
Okay.
Gets around to the pits quicker.
I think we'll see a debate between yourself and Pricey after the race on that one.
For sure.
I think Pricey's looking for any excuse to penalise Lightning anyway. So wait, see invalidates on the knockoff Versace car there. So no good on this lap, but he's pushing super hard. Great to see our drivers really going for it. Here comes Beetle again, locking up into turn 1. Quick, go and change your liveries quickly, because it's obviously far too distracting to try and drive with. I mean, credit to Beetle, he went full out on this livery, because he even matched the helmet to it.
What if that's their strategy, to distract
fully committed.
everyone?
I think it is. I mean, people are just going to be vomiting in their helmets watching these cars come by. But what we're here for is looking at Tom and Josh and Monarch. They're the top of the grid at the moment. Really, really close times. Tom, the only one to dip under the 58-second mark. People will be either starting or finishing their final laps here. Tom's not going to go any faster this time round. Yeah. Josh, though, is a quarter of a second down, just into sector 1. Tiny over throttle on the way out of 2, but this looks promising. Oh, he's lost it all coming out of 2, it looks like. Just that tiny little over exuberance on the throttle pedal, and all that advantage that he had gained is lost. Monarch goes under the 58-second mark in P2, and Pricey slots the time together in 58.0. Very nice. Where is Josh driving? I mean, fully off the track and invalidated.
Yeah, he could have. I think what he was trying to do there was not invalidate, because if you go around that curve, it gives you a little bit of leeway to not get a penalty, but
yeah,
it just didn't come on track quick enough, I guess.
That was pretty greedy, though, the amount of track extension he was doing. This is potentially our last qualifying lap now, with Beetle coming up to the final corner. Can Beetle get further up the grid than P7? Maximise the amount of people that have to see this on the grid, and he dives in the pits. Pretty sure Beetle is listening to my commentary tonight, and he's just deliberately entertaining us. Some cars driving around, but nobody's able to improve here, Bacon. That's it. That looks to be our grid.
Looks quite compact, actually. More than what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, and good on Monarch for getting under the 58-second mark. Oh, Josh! He made an improvement, but I don't see how that's possible. He'd already got the checkered flag, so I think he improved, but it was after he'd cleared the checkered flag. Session over for Josh. Go ahead.
Well then.
Well, take us through the grid, if you will.
Tom taking pole again, with Monarch following on the front row. Then Pricey, Josh, and Waitsy making your top 5. Fry Pepper, Beetle, Lightning, Towney, and Storm making your top 10, all within, what's that, 7/10 of each other? Yeah. So, very fine margins. Bruno, One Blood, Ashtube, and that's all I got to.
Yeah, I think the drivers readied up pretty quickly through there, didn't they? Yeah.
Very eager.
Bruno blaming looking at his phone going through turn 10, which is why he blocked Lightning. We've said it before in Celeritas. Really, the drivers really do need to only be focusing on one screen at a time. It's yeah. At least the football season's over now, so Pricey can enjoy driving without trying to keep an eye on Chelsea at the same time.
Maybe he'll have a good result today because of it.
Yeah. Well, he's up there. He's up there at the front end of the grid. Dowadex here rooting for BMW Sauber. I don't know if he means BMW Sauber are making a return or he's considering making a return to the racing. Maybe you could clarify for us, Dowadex. I suppose if you're on stream, then you're not in another league race right now, so...
A little bit of both, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, the grid's forming, so we're going to go onto their formation lap. What do you make of this predicted pit stop strategy Bacon. I think we will see some drivers go on the hards early on.
Yet to see it pit. Or pop.
Okay.
How many... Wait, hold on, let me sort this out.
I think they said lap 23 to 25 for a soft to medium, and then a soft medium as the alternate strategy. But look at the speed people are going round this this first lap, very, very slowly. One Blood makes a return to the league. He's been out for a little while. Yeah, I think I'm glitching. I think I'm the one glitching here. Apologies
there's a little bit of shenanigans back there.
Apologies if the stream is slightly interrupted. Yeah, it looks like I might be the one to blame for some internet difficulties tonight. But yeah, someone blaming. I don't know who 1-2 is in the chat. Beetle saying apparently someone claiming that Beetle has just pulled a Maldonado into turn 1.
Makes sense.
Good stuff. Well, someone's just spun off into the background, warming the tyres. There's not much opportunity to warm up.
Interesting formation lap.
Yeah. Well, we're nearly there. Who's your pick tonight then? And why is it Tom?
I don't know. I think Monarch could might actually be able to get Tom off the start, depending on how much wheel spin Tom gets.
Okay, yeah.
But strategy doesn't really play too much of a role around here.
Nice to see four different manufacturers in the top 4 as well. That's pretty cool.
1GP, the highest out of all of them.
Apologies, I can't get a decent camera angle. We're ready to go. It's lights out and go, go, go in Bahrain at Celeritas. Tom sweeps across the front of Monarch. Tom gets a great early start. Looks like Pricey is getting the elbows out. Someone turned round on the inside there, but Monarch holds on. Who turned round? Was it? Was it One Blood?
It looked like Fry Pepper.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's gone down a few spaces, but managed to recover. Oh, no, it would have been Josh, wouldn't it? Josh was fourth on the grid, I think. So Tom from Monarch, Pricey, Waitsy holding on to fourth, well, gaining up to fourth, with Towney for Audi getting up there. I've got a feeling from one of our first exhibition races, Bacon, we're in for some overtaking tonight. It's going to be action up and down the grid.
Definitely, the action doesn't stop around here.
I think Fry Pepper turned around, smashed into the pit wall, and he's out. Safety car immediately. Fry Pepper, it looked like lost it on the way out of the final corner, Bacon, and hit the wall with some speed. Here comes Storm as pitted and Lightning. So Lightning followed by Storm. You say Tom's got a DSQ? What?
Disqualified for ignoring yellow flags.
Did he get? I wonder if that safety car was a late call, and I think he went past the safety car potentially.
Maybe.
Well, if we can talk to Tom, that would be awesome. But that's pretty weird. That would be my best guess. Is that it's down to the position of the safety car, and it certainly wouldn't be a surprise if he couldn't help that situation at all. Yeah, very, very strange to see Tom disappear on us like that.
But very interestingly here, Storm and Lightning managed to get into the pits.
Indeed.
So they've already taken their stops, and if everyone else in the field on the softs stops for the mediums, then they'll jump up quite a lot of places, considering they were running around P8 or so.
But isn't 56 laps adventurous on the softs, even at 100% race distance?
It is very adventurous, yeah. No one decides to come in. I mean, there's no real point to pit off the softs, honestly, considering the deg is so low. I mean, you can go like 30 laps on these softs. I've done it before. It's insane how long they go for.
But if you're trying to eliminate the pit stop, and take advantage of the safety car. Surely the only choice is to go on hards.
Maybe, but like I said, the hards aren't exactly the greatest around here. So maybe they're thinking that for the warming because of how long the straights are.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. It's very difficult to warm these hard tyres. Tom, have you joined us? Hello to Tom.
Hi.
Hi, Tom. It looks like an instant DSQ for overtaking the safety car. Is that accurate?
It was. And
wow.
I'm really angry at the game at the moment, and it tends to do this at times. But what actually happened was, so I was driving along the straight and it came out quite late. It was just 5 minutes delta, like I wasn't ahead or anything. So the safety car, I think, was still on the white line or just passed it.
Yeah.
Which just meant I stick to the other, so I went past it. I got returned to the position. I got okay, fine, no problem. So I pull over in those corners. The safety car in those first 2 corners is going like 40 miles an hour or something. Like it's almost standing still at that point. So it takes some time to get past, and I got disqualified within 3 seconds or something.
Yeah. Amazing. Just to say on screen, we've just seen Pricey take advantage of the safety car restart and with some side-by-side action has taken the lead of the race in this early place. Tom, you look like you were pretty certain to be taking the win tonight.
Yeah, it's quite a good track for me. I really like the racing around it as well. It's really quick. I think we'll see it throughout today as well. It's so hard to pull away from someone's DRS.
Definitely.
Which means you will constantly be fighting, and it's almost impossible to regain your DRS. So it's a really big strategy thing. Yeah, but actually quite often a lot better to be in second place.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you... Oh, wow, it's just action everywhere at the moment. Overtakes left, right and centre. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was never a guarantee to win the race, but
no,
yeah.
It never is, but I think I did have the pace.
You look like you were very close to maximum at qualifying. It looked like you'd when you were making improvements. Oh, Ash Tube turns around. When you were making improvements, they were tiny differences in time.
Yeah, that's. I've just seen the incident on the screen. Yeah, I was. That's like I think a 7.3
right.
57.73 in the time chose my best. So I was right on the limit. And I really like this track, much better than the normal range track. Actually.
Cool. Excellent. Well, we appreciate you managing to keep cool enough to hold a clean interview. We appreciate that on the thing. We hope to see you again soon, and we certainly hope to see you and Julian wheel to wheel again on the same track on the same Formula C night. Thanks so much, Tom. Thanks. Bacon, I was just watching Ashtube duck in and out of recovering against Ivan, against Bruno. Some great moves from Ashtube. Have you seen anything while we were talking to Tom there?
Lightning and Storm having a little bit of a elbows out moment there. Going around 10 into... Oh! Uh-oh.
Pinty's
there
gone.
goes Lightning and Pinty, and the virtual safety car is out.
Oh, okay. So I was going to ask which one is in the lead. Is it Storm or Lightning? But Storm's managed to survive whatever was going on there. So VSC Monarch is super close to Price. He wants that place back, no doubt. And his Versace Couture teammate is right behind him. Waits has made up some places. Josh has recovered back to 4th, despite that semi-spin. On the first corner, I think he was probably helped into it, but Pricey takes the lead. Can't get away though. As Tom was explaining, it's just impossible to get away from each other with the slipstreams.
Yeah, you have to manage your ERS so well. There's nowhere to recharge it, so it depends really. Monarch got a great chance.
He did. Here comes Monarch. Look at this, ran it down the outside. Looks like he just had the momentum. Can he take these fast turns now just to get far enough away from Pricey to avoid being retaken? That's the question. Looks like Waitsy, in his usual manner, just quietly sitting, watching, waiting for the next opportunity to get past. He's always patient. Yellow flag sector 2. Please let's not lose another driver. So Bruno goes round down to the bottom of the order. It does look like Monarch's got away from Pricey a little bit. Everybody following in line, weaving down the straight slightly. Pricey able to come alongside, but Monarch has got the inside. Pricey's going to try and stay with him through 3, but I think Monarch's going to be a little bit better as Waitsy gets down the inside of Pricey, who rams him round the side there. That looked a little bit rude from Pricey.
Very rude. I don't think I would appreciate that. He got just a little bit out of shape.
Waitsy runs into the back. A little friendly tap. Yeah, it wasn't enough to turn anybody around, but perhaps enough for Pricey just to be thinking, be thinking twice about elbowing people around. But of course, that's put Waitsy in a difficult situation. Compromised his line, and Josh is now on his gearbox. Oh, you're kidding me. Quinn goes.
Won't finish another race.
Quinn fails to finish on the same lap as his teammate fails to finish as well. Ash Tube has gone. This is a race of attrition. This is worse than an elimination event at the moment. We haven't even had 5 laps of grace before the cars start to be eliminated. Monarch holds the lead from Pricey. Waitsy 3rd, Josh 4th. Towney close behind. Waitsy's just managed to get enough of a gap to Josh to be able to take his normal racing line and try and stay with Waitsy. These cars just can't get away from each other.
Josh has very little DRS, or ERS though, so he's going to be struggling very far into the race. Yeah.
Anyone's guess on, we've got Valentine, your friend and previous helper with us on the commentary and stream. Valentine yelling for you, and maybe a slight inside joke with you, but good to have Valentine with us. Yeah, here comes Towney Josh on Waitsy. Very, very close. Further up, we've got Pricey still attacking Monarch. In the chat, let us know how many cars are going to finish this race, because it looks like we're down to 10 right now. It's only lap 10, and we've got 10 runners left of 57 laps. Crazy situation. It's like a Division 1 race in Celeritas.
Although last week Division 1 was quite quiet and action-packed as well.
True, absolutely, yeah. So, previous 3 races were not ones to. Yeah. Well, let's just say the highlights videos will be pretty short on those races. But Valentine says 7. Any advance on 7? Who thinks less than 7? Josh can't get by Waitsy just yet. Pricey super close to Monarch, but no way through at the moment. Those are our gaps. Pretty much Beetle at the moment can see all the battles on track over his or through his halo, I should say. One Blood, Storm and Ivan are medium tyre runners who will potentially run a little bit longer than these soft tyre runners. Potentially up to lap 25 on the soft, Bacon?
Yeah, with the safety car effect though, even though it's not much of a tyre saving effect, maybe bordering the 30s. I'm not sure when the mediums will go. Maybe around the same time that the softs will be dropped off by then, and the mediums will still be quite healthy by lap 20 or so, I'd say. So still a tiny advantage there, but not much of one that's an undercut effect, so to say.
So you don't think at the moment that our drivers are particularly in a conservation mode. They're not you know, moderating their speed at all. It's full out. You think they'll be pretty hard on the racing for the whole race?
Yeah, I'd say so, but the thing is, you've also got to keep an eye on how much ERS you have, and you don't want to get caught with less than 50% when someone ahead of you has 80%. Because when you overtake them, they'll just overtake you back on the straights because you've got dependent on the ERS.
Speaking of, I think Waitsy just got it slightly wrong out of the penultimate corner, turn 12, and this is going to give an opportunity here to Josh. Let's see what Josh can do. He's got DRS, but so has Waitsy ahead of him, and Waitsy's got slightly better top speed. Whether that's traction, Waitsy brakes pretty early compared to Josh, and Josh did well to avoid him actually there. Waitsy gaining on Pricey at this point as well. I think that Monarch can see a car to lap, presumably Bruno. I think he can see him on the back straight already. Yeah, contact!
Yeah, I believe that is.
Contact, and is that Waitsy or Towney that just hit the back? We just saw some debris spin out. Interesting. I'm sure I just saw contact on the screen. Towney just got a penalty. Yeah. Yes, Monarch can definitely see the car of Bruno ahead of him on the straight.
Not as action-packed as it was when we did our exhibition here. Oh, as Pricey tries to go for a move around the outside. He's just barely there.
Yeah, going to try and use the outside through turn 4, and it's right, it's super close. Pricey's managed to hold the inside line. Who's got the DRS going down the back straight? Neither of them?
They crossed the beam at the same time.
That's bizarre, isn't it? But anyway, Pricey takes the lead of our race. Waitsy watching behind Monarch. Pretty sure that Monarch will be able to respond on this lap. He's going to get a slipstream down the third straight here. Then he's going to get DRS down the start-finish straight. He's got less than a quarter of a second between the two cars. All he has to do is get round this last corner, and he'll have a tremendous drive. Here he comes. Pricey is going to not defend to the inside. He's going to give him that outside line. How much of an overlap is Monarch going to get while Waitsy tries to sneak up the inside of Pricey at the same time? What's going to happen here? Pricey's unable to respond through there. Monarch gets ahead. Is there any case in which it would be good just to stay with the car in front and let them lead?
Maybe, but then you've got to also worry about your engine temperatures and your pace relevant to theirs. Because if you're a faster car than them, being behind them is obviously going to slow you down. Because you don't have the clean air, you have all the hot air, which is going to make your engine run a lot hotter as well.
Yeah. So the top 4 are held together here. They're not able. They're getting away from the other 6 drivers in the game at the moment. Apparently the pit window's open, so that's quite early. Pricey making a move to the inside this time. Monarch gives him the outside. Not really worth defending too much. Monarch gets the cutback. Pricey says, "Turn 2 is mine." You're not coming through here. Waitsy and Monarch doing their best not to trip over each other as teammates, but I think Waitsy might have an opportunity to get by him. Waitsy kind of has to get past Monarch because he's being held up and at risk from Josh behind him.
If you look at it that way, sure, but also you've got to remember how crucial the ERS is around here, and Monarch has quite a lot saved up, so they can just kind of, I guess in a sense, yo-yo between each other to sort of mitigate the amount of ERS used and work as a team. But that obviously comes down to if they're in a quality chat or not. So
yeah, absolutely. They could do a kind of drafting set up kind of NASCAR style teammates where they bump draft or manage to drag each other up to Pricey, but it's very hard to coordinate on relatively short straights, especially when you've got Josh waiting behind. So Josh is hovering around the 50% ERS. Should he be trying to save a little bit more than that at this point?
50% is a decent amount to have. I mean, he shouldn't really be using much because it's the DRS train here, so
yeah,
you should be maybe a bit higher. That's where I'd like to be, around the 70 range, 60 range. And it seems like your ERS also builds up faster the higher your ERS is.
Yeah.
So
certainly, and if you drop it below 25, it's never going back up, is it?
Such as Pricey is finding out right now.
10%, right, great. Yeah, he's got. I mean, he's done his best to break away from Monarch, but that's going to mean that he has to then run a few laps without using any ERS, I would have thought. So that's a tactic. He's obviously trying to get away from Monarch, try and get a second away, and then he can turn the ERS, he can stop deploying ERS, but it's not enough. He's let it dip quite far down, and now Monarch's able to use his. Monarch's still hovering around the 50%, and straight back to half a second gap. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what was going on there.
It's a very interesting situation because you don't want to use all of it to get by someone, because then you won't have any to defend with, and not having any is, well, it's just not desirable.
Definitely.
But if you don't use any, you can't catch the cars ahead of you.
We'll give a little bit of time to Beetle on screen because he's pretty close now to Towney. He's caught right up to Towney, and yeah, I'm sure wanting to get in the mix with the top 4 or 5 drivers in the race. Storm is 10 seconds back, so certainly within a pit stop window. He's the only driver to have stopped that's left in the race. I think that's right. No, Bruno stopped. Bruno put a new set of softs on.
Oh yes, because he got weight change after doing the spin a lot.
But he went on softs.
So he'll definitely have to stop it again. Although maybe the fact that he stopped around lap 10 might mean that he can stretch these softs into the 35-40 range and then safely get to the checkered flag on the mediums, which will have maybe similar pace to the softs. I can't quite remember.
Well, Monarch closed right back up to Pricey here, not using a lot of ERS. Goes to the outside. This is familiar territory, leaves a little bit of space. Pricey elbows out as usual, runs, tries to hold the inside through turn 4 or 9, and here comes Monarch. Managed to do exactly what Pricey did to him the previous lap. He's held the inside, but Pricey got the DRS that time. I wonder if Pricey ducked out of the throttle to get the DRS detection.
Maybe, but he also got a 3-second time penalty during that sequence.
Yeah,
so
absolutely, good catch. No, that's really going to change the game somewhat, and it's going to help drivers like, well, ordinarily, let's say, Waitsy tends to drive without penalty. I didn't want to say he will get 0 penalties because that would be a definite curse. Talking of curses, of course, the pole sitter curse is hit again. Pricey pits. Is that penalty indicative of his tyres dropping off? I wonder.
It's very possible if he's pitting this early, he might just not like the feel of the warm softs.
I wonder if that means that this is going to force everybody else's hand. I mean, they'll be fine because of the penalty at this stage. Of course, it's early doors in the race. You can't guarantee they're not going to get penalties themselves. And Pricey could well undercut them if they don't pit now, Bacon. What are you doing in the seat of these top 3 drivers at this point?
It's a weird situation to be in because you don't want to pit too early because then your mediums will just dry up and then you'll have to do this another stop onto softs, or if you're doing a medium then you'll have to stop a lot earlier. But at the same time, if the tyres don't feel great, you want to get off of them so you can save that lap time.
Yeah, well, they've elected not to pit, so this could see them lose the lead to Pricey when they eventually decide to pit. But this has suddenly stretched the gaps out from our top drivers. Waits is still half a second just over behind his teammate, and Josh has got about a second, but that's the gap to leader. So they've closed in again. Let's have a look down. Is Josh going to make a move? He's just going to show himself in the mirrors. Pricey rejoined behind Storm, but fairly significantly behind Storm, 6 seconds. So he won't be caught in traffic for a few laps at least. He'll be able to run near to full pace right now.
And he's also sort of got clear of the 3 warnings, so he can take at least 2 more, which won't be ideal as Waitsy comes into the pits.
Waitsy pits, indeed, yeah.
It won't be ideal to obviously think that he has 2 more times that he can run over track. But at the same time, looking at the race director, Monarch and Waitsy have 2 warnings, so they can't track extend as much. So
there really isn't. Would drivers be tempted to visit race director mid-race to have a look at warnings?
I mean, I certainly am during a during a
hypothetical event. Right. Yes.
or after I've done my pit stop, because the Red Bull box is quite close, and it gives me a little bit of time. But I mean, I'm probably one of the only people that does actually look at the race director for who's got what ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I've just noticed that Pricey's jumped Waitsy by.
He has, yeah. Waitsy lost nearly 3 seconds running those 2 laps on the old soft tyres. Monarch and Josh in the pits. So we'll keep an eye on this and see. They haven't had time to change the overalls of the teams into the new livery. So all white overalls. But here they come. I think we're about to see Pricey overtake them both. No, that's Storm. So Storm inherits the leads now. Remember, he's stopped once. Pricey has overtaken them both. So that undercut worked brilliantly for Pricey, but of course he has got those cold tyres, and it didn't work for Josh, who just gets out of the pits behind Waitsy. So completely identical situation for Josh and Waitsy as before the pit stops, but Pricey with 2 laps undercut made it work very nicely. But of course that's going to leave him with a tyre delta. So how quickly can Monarch catch? No, how quickly can Monarch catch these guys? Beetle put the hards on. So Beetle may well be pitted to the end of the race tonight.
Depending on if he gets damage or not. I just don't like the hards around this track, honestly.
Yeah.
They get so cold by the time you get to the turns, so you just have ultimately a very understeery car.
Well, there is a little gap in the race. Let's watch Beetle and see how he's coping on these tyres. I wish we got tyre temperatures and fuel usage on the telemetry. I think that'd be really interesting. But
well, if you have good eyes, you can have a look at the steering wheel.
Yeah, I don't have eyes that good at all. And as long as it's not the Williams car as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Beetle seemingly making the apex is okay. He's not overrunning or extending too far. I think the car seems under him quite nicely. Little lock up into turn 10 through 11, just avoids the curb. Yeah, I think it looks okay for him. So Waitsy gets a penalty.
Well, you just had to say it, didn't you? As Beetle goes wide.
Yeah. Beetle. Well, this is one of Beetle's creative lines. He's well known. He's well known for creating new racing circuits, particularly on the outside of corners. He's certainly not afraid to roll the dice with the warnings, or at least he's done his homework, should we say?
He didn't actually pick up a warning for that one, so he must have got off the throttle enough to...
I think he just knows. I think he's explored every avenue on the track, and he knows where he can extend and where he can't. I really think, I mean, I've seen him enough now, and particularly around Mexico, Beetle was just, it looked ridiculous around Mexico, but he made it work. And we do have strict corner cutting rules on Celeritas, so yeah, it certainly seems the exit of 11 is somewhere that you can run completely off track in the painted sand. Quite why you would want to, and why it would buy you any advantage. Beetle obviously thinks that it does.
Price is just saying sector times.
He is really enjoying these tyres. I wonder if he's going to go soft, medium, medium.
Oh, he's getting DRS from Storm as well. So
interesting. I'm just watching Josh try and take Waitsy, and we'll head up to Pricey and Storm, but I don't think that will be particularly dramatic change of places between the two. I'm sure they're in a party together, and Price has already told him Pricey is faster than you. So unless Dawadek or Julian are race engineering tonight as well. They're a well-oiled and well-drilled team, the BMW Sauber.
Although it might actually work out for Pricey to sit behind Storm in the DRS for a little bit. Obviously, if he's faster, you want to get by. It looks like
it looks like he's going to do it, doesn't it? He's not managing to recover much in the way of ERS. And I've definitely seen Pricey be one of the chief critics of other drivers' ERS. So anyone who has been criticised about ARS, take because he's driving around less than 20% ERS and has been for some time. Yeah.
He should have just stuck behind and tried to gain some.
He should have been recovering, yeah. But you know, I think he's potentially looking at a different race strategy to the other drivers he was competing with. Monarch looking good at the moment. Monarch's on his first choice of strategy. He's got no penalties, neither has Josh, despite all the battling these guys have had. Beetle, as I say, on hard tyres. He's closed up to Towney. He's 7/10 behind. Keep an eye on that gap and see if he can make progress against the medium tyre runners once their tyre life drops off. But here comes Josh again on Waitsy around the outside. They'll be used to driving side by side through these first few corners, Bacon, tonight.
Those first few corners are very, it's not hard to get an overtake, but it's awkward because you have to, when you're coming back for that switch onto the left, the car on the inside really has to take almost all of that curve, and it's quite difficult to do without getting any warnings from.
Really unsettles the car, and there's it's really poor traction out there, isn't it?
So honestly, it's better to defend the inside into turn 1, because then you just get the better line effectively going into 2 and 3.
And you potentially keep the inside for 4 as well.
Yeah, you also keep the inside for 4, so you really want to take the inside if you can.
As Waitsy does. I mean, he can't be listening to you because it would be 7 seconds delayed, but Waitsy holds the inside again. He's just going to, that's just going to be his racing line pretty soon, I think, coming through here. Monarch has caught Storm. Storm is defending, and a little bit of moving there. Late move under braking. I think that counted as Storm's one move and resuming his racing line, maybe Bacon, but Monarch puts himself on the outside of Storm through the S's, and beautiful overtake. Really, really good. I mean, obviously he's got much more grip in the tyres, so he had that confidence. But you put yourself on the outside of a car with dying tyres, and you are putting a lot of faith in the driver on the inside.
Well, I think you can put that faith into Storm, honestly. He's a very... he's a very clean driver.
He is.
He knows when to give you space and how much you'll need. But
I think my point is that someone on old tyres might make a mistake on the inside of a corner and you know, head to the outside. As Waitsy defends that perfect defensive driving line, Bacon instructed him to drive earlier on. Inside of 1, outside of 2, inside of 3 and 4, and it's working time after time, but it's not making them any faster. Josh must be getting pretty frustrated by now, Bacon, knowing that Waitsy and and Pricey have got penalties. I wonder if he's just wondering, why is Waitsy holding me up here?
Well, they're also racing each other, so they're on the same strategy by the looks of it. So, I mean, it's fair game. It's just
okay. Oh, Monarch taking Pricey. How quickly did Monarch catch Pricey? Is that just that ERS management? We've got a little bit of glitching on my screen, but Monarch getting away from Pricey beautifully through there. So Monarch on about 50% ERS, Pricey down to 30. I think that might just be Monarch using some of that ERS to catch. I mean, within the space of 1 lap, he got past Storm and Pricey as well.
Maybe he didn't catch it because he got past Storm in the S's, so maybe he's carrying either a little bit less wing than Pricey, or he's just managing his overtake a lot better.
Yeah, it does look like some good strategy from Monarch at the moment, and especially given that he's, you know, 2 or 3 seconds beyond the next penaltyless driver. Tom suggesting that Pricey might have just let him past. He's staying with him. He got quite close there into turn 1 again.
Well, Pricey also could have forced Monarch into a mistake there. He might be looking at the time penalty and thinking that he can't do much about it, but he also doesn't know, unless he's listening to the stream, that Monarch's on 2 warnings, so...
But you put yourself... Can you strategically position your opponent into making a corner cutting warning? Like, can you put yourself on the outside and make them cut an apex or something? Is that a legitimate tactic?
I mean, I think it's a legitimate tactic. If you leave the room and you just kind of guide them over that apex enough to where they cut it, then I think it's fair.
Fair game.
There's no contact, then it's just, it's fair game. They made a mistake, even though you helped them into it, they've still made that mistake.
Waits is still defending from Josh. Just spent almost his entire ERS down the main straight to defend against Josh. He gained back to 16% on the first corner, but as Pricey gets close, it's really tough to know which of these 2 battles to stay with, because the gaps just keep yo-yoing back and forth. So your order on lap 34 is Monarch from Pricey, Waitsy and Josh. In P5 is Towney, followed pretty closely by Beetle, who isn't able to make a pass just yet, but will be sitting there waiting for Towney's tyres to drop off. Storm's just pitted and come out in 7th on the soft tyres, so we'll almost certainly... No, maybe he won't pit again. Maybe he can do 22, 23 laps on the softs.
I think he can. Ivan
in 8th, One Blood in 9th, and Bruno is our last current runner. We haven't lost a car for some laps now, Bacon, and that can only be a good thing. Some real estate on the track has freed up.
Finally, yeah. It's a shame to see 6 cars drop, but 2 of them from DSQs, they were fairly unfortunate, so it's really only 4 cars that we've lost through incidences. I mean, Lightning and Pin Team might have a little discussion in DMs or in the incident reports.
That's already happened, as far as I can see. It's already been going on. Tawadek's not impressed either. He's getting in there with some harsh words to Lightning, I think, particularly. Or is it Lighting? I can't keep track of his name at the moment. Josh got past Waitsy while we were talking, so Josh has finally made that move stick. He's been working on it for a good 10 laps, I think. So it's certainly since the pit stop, and I know they were, they were pretty close together beforehand. So good stuff. I see Pricey's managed to regain back to 50% ERS, as Monarch is on something similar, slightly more, but something similar. And looking at Bruno, I think for is it One Blood actually looking to make seconds lapping. Yeah. So looking like, well, One Blood's got a red cross by his name, so he's an AI.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I saw him disconnect earlier. I sent an invite, so.
Okay. Well, I guess hoping to continue and get. It means he's still in the session, does it?
His car is. I've sent him an invite. I'll shoot another one. This
Tom.
might actually come into play though.
Tom's never short of a few words of advice in the Discord or now currently in the YouTube chat. He's calling out Waitsy for making a big mistake on ERS deployment. So let's see if that holds true. Waitsy's dropped back, but he's recovered a bit now. So we were saying earlier that you let it get below 25 and the battery's pretty dead, but both Pricey and Waitsy have managed to recover back fairly well.
Yeah, but I think that's also helped by the DRS. I mean, with the DRS, once you make it to the timing beam, then you have it. You don't really need to use any to get DRS. So you don't need to use any out of the corner like Price is just done in its stage, just that tiny bit extra, and then you can attack with it down the next DRS straight or wherever you want to.
Yeah.
Do it.
So talk to me about the medium tyres, Bacon. Do you feel them wearing every lap at this length of race, or is it more gradual and then there's a sudden drop off? And where would you think that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to the normal bar rate, honestly, where your tyres kind of gradually fall off. And you see the lap time losing, and you feel the car getting away from you, and then there's that one moment where you feel the tyre almost die, but it's still alive, so you really want to pit on that like little bit there, where you know it's gonna go. It's not something like Monza, where the tyre just completely falls off a cliff, and you have a general idea of where that cliff is, but you just miss it. So.
Well, as you were talking about the tyres dropping off, especially those mediums, Beetle has been able to pass Townie now. So 17 lap hards are greater than 14 lap old mediums, it seems. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think that's about right. It seems like the hards have worked out well for Beetle, so maybe they are good around here and just not with my car.
So let's look at gap to leader, because Beetle not stopping again is 12 seconds off the lead at this point.
Oh right, I've forgotten that all the mediums are going to have to stop again. So
yeah.
Oh, I've just lost the timings. Well.
Yeah, I have as well. So don't worry. But take it on trust that Beetle's about 12-13 seconds away from the leader right now, and that's pretty good. He's got loads of ERS as well. Huh. Of course, I say that, and he's suddenly spent it all. Beetle is just, I'm sure, Beetle is listening to me, and he's just trying to do the opposite of everything I say tonight.
Maybe he's trying to catch the DRS from the slapped car, but 12 seconds to the leader. If they all pit, Pricey will probably pit first, because he's on the older tyres. If they do pit again, which they most likely will. Now go on to the softs, which are just going to be so much better than these hards.
Right.
So, I mean, even though it's a 13-second gap for like a, 23-second pit stop? Something around that. I think the leaders will catch up to him fairly quickly.
Yeah. I think that's probably true. It's just a matter of how much of their tyres they spend chasing down Beetle and what they've got left at the end, especially with regard to the overtake button as well. Beetle's let Townie back again, it seems. So just as we're talking Beetle up, guess what, folks? He loses a place.
It looked fairly simple for Tiny to get by there, so maybe Beetle was letting him by to get the DRS, get a bit of the ERS back, because now Townie's got to push with his ERS. Beetle can sit back with his DRS.
Indeed.
So many RSs.
Yeah, they really should come up with different sounding acronyms for the different technologies
maybe
used.
I'll just name it colours.
Pricey 6/10 away from Monarch at the front, but Monarch, Josh and Beetle, those are your drivers with no penalties who are really still in the hunt for the win here. Tom's saying that the hards can just about go to 45 laps, so Beetle's going to be really pushing it, because he's got another 25 to go on top of the 20 lap old hards he's already got, but there will be very little lap time left in them at the end of the race. That we can guarantee. He's dropped back a little bit, but he's catching Townie again. It's just a matter of how little time can Beetle lose in the hunt here. Beetle has been fantastic in Formula C up till now. He's leading the Drivers' Championship, but he has actually fulfilled his criteria, I believe, almost fulfilled his criteria of maximum races, unlike most other drivers in the Championship who've been alternating.
Beetle might actually, I mean, I found these outrageous, strategies that you had in my own races. Maybe he's looking to pit around the same time as the leaders for the softs, because then he won't be under threat.
Right.
From Townie. And we've seen that the undercut is clearly the better way to be, and especially with these mediums, their drop-off will probably be quite severe.
Beetle currently battling with the lapped Ivan, who on brand new softs has similar or better pace than him. He's using that ERS again, just for the first few gears of each straight. I have to say, it's usually my kind of tactic, is to get the car up to 7th gear and then turn it off, but as I've said many times, I make no claims to knowing what I'm doing when it comes to league racing at all, but that tends to be how I use it. And there goes Beetle, spending it all the way down to 5%.
Well, maybe it's just one of them people that really likes to use that overtake to keep with the car as a sort of de facto DRS, which, I mean, it's not too bad of a strategy, but on a track like this where your ERS just doesn't regen, because there's hardly any tar breaking points, or if there is, there's what, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. There's about 4, so you don't really gain much as you would say around normal bar 7 or 8. So
yeah, there's 3 big straights, and there's probably 4 decent straights and 4 decent stops. That's about it here. So it's obviously a balancing act. Tyres seem to be doing pretty well for these drivers at the moment. Not seeing any particular dramas. I did see Beetle locking up a bit, which he needs to avoid doing if he is going to make these hard tyres last to the end. Let's see.
Wonder if at the front that Pricey is just waiting for the perfect opportunity, because ultimately when you're on that start-finish straight, you want to be around 4.5 tenths between you and the car that you're chasing down to even think about trying to overtake. Obviously, if you've got a lot more ERS to spend than them, which you won't know at the time, you can spend that and try and get the overtake, but it's not as long of a straight as, say, back when you really don't have to worry about overtake running with that. Straight is just insane how far back you can even catch up to the car.
Well, are we nearing that point now, Bacon, where if you're going to pit again, it's now or never? We've got about 11 laps to run.
Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe the tires didn't feel great to the drivers, but I feel like if you're gonna pit and take the risk of going on to the softs, especially as one of the leaders, you want to do it either now or next lap.
Because Pricey, even if he does overtake Monarch, he's got to get a 3-second gap, and with slightly older tyres and the ability of Monarch so far to stay with Pricey, or at least or continually overtake and let past, it doesn't seem very achievable at this stage of the race to me. That Pricey is going to be able to get there. It comes Waitsy on Josh.
Pricey is just
Waitsy gets the inside line. I'm trying to get a decent camera angle. There we go. Braking down, he gets the inside. Is he going to drive him out to the outside? No. Gives him enough space and manages to hold that inside line. There we go. Textbook pass, even through the switchbacks from Waitsy. Is he going to hold the inside line through to turn 9? He's not quite. Josh is going to have a go. Oh, that's close.
He ran out of straight.
Yeah, that was close. But Waitsy gets ahead. He's got a 3.4 second gap to Pricey ahead. But equal penalties, so that kind of nullifies that. We may be looking potentially at Pricey 3rd and 4th, or 3rd and 5th. We'll see what Josh can do to catch Pricey effectively here as well. Nobody pitting of the front 4. I think they might be trying to make these tyres go.
Maybe Pricey will have a very difficult time doing it, being 3 laps older.
Well, who will have the hardest time, Bacon? Will it be the top 4, or will it be Beetle making their tyres last to the end?
I'd have to say the top 4 because they're on the mediums. But I mean, the hards, he's been on them for 27 laps. They go for 40, 50 laps.
Waitsy tried to hold the inside line into turn 10 and didn't manage to. Josh was ahead. Waitsy held on too long and took the inside curb and recovered the car, but look at the distance he's just dropped, Josh. That might be difficult to overcome now with 15% ERS left. Maybe it's time for Waitsy to pit. Yeah, we're thinking the same thing, and he does not.
Well then.
But he has still got a gap to Towney, where he would lose that place to Beetle as well if he pitted now, possibly to Storm, so he'd be giving up a lot of track position.
He would be, but at the same time he would gain, maybe not as much time as he gained, but he'd definitely gain time if he stops or to stop again.
We've seen a massive change in fortunes from the Cyan Racing team this weekend, this race day. Bacon, they were really getting very close to challenging BMW Sauber at the top of the standings, but with losing their top driver and with One Blood down in last place right now, they're not going to be taking home very many points at all.
I will be taking at least a couple, but I mean, ultimately it's a very big loss for them, considering how high Pricey and Storm. Maybe not as many as they would be if Tom was around, but they'd still maybe lose a little bit considering.
And I think it's Snarf is the other one. Snarf is the other driver. So when Tom, when Tom and Snarf are together, and they have been recently, they've gained a lot of points on BMW Sauber in the last few races. But this is not going to help their campaign.
Although saying that, One Blood is still AI. Let me try giving one more invite. But
yeah, he did I think Bruno just dropped out and has rejoined. So he obviously managed to get an invite back from somebody. Lap 51. Still pretty tight at the top. Let's go back up to the lead because it looks like Pricey making a move on the outside of Monarch. This is the challenge for the lead. Monarch doesn't drive too hard. He knows that Pricey's got a penalty. It's no good for Monarch to battle too hard with Pricey here, as Pricey's got DRS on One Blood or DRS from the overtake with Monarch. Monarch now just needs to stay with Pricey. It's all about who's preserved the most tyres and ERS recovery at this point. So Pricey on 30%, Monarch on 30%. We know Monarch's got pretty good top speed, so Pricey didn't spend a lot getting past Monarch there. Let's see what we've got for these last few laps. Not pitting, these two.
Monarch is spending a lot there. That's quite a bit of over speed.
Definitely. So he gets the inside this time, gets significantly past Pricey. Is this enough to keep the lead of the race? Pricey's going for that inside switchback. I think he's going to get it. Aggressively brakes very, very late and drives Monarch to the outside of the track. I'm pretty sure Pricey's trying to get a penalty.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way, doesn't it? That was
how is Monarch staying with Pricey? With Pricey having the DRS open, and he
just had a good exit.
Yeah, it looks like very, very good exit. But it's back and forth between our top two. We've got a cracking battle for the lead here, at least on the road. Josh needs to close in on these two, and he is doing at the moment as they battle. This could actually cost Pricey the second place if he gets the inside again. He gets the DRS, but we know that Pricey makes that second DRS zone work really well for him. He's going for the inside. What does Monarch do? Did he stop on the apex just to stop the switchback? I think he did. He can keep his line. Pricey's going to get DRS out of here, but can Monarch get away? Monarch's not spending his ERS. He takes the inside line. Yeah, and straight past. Pricey straight past on the outside there. Just timing his traction so well.
Monarch with a lot more ERS though.
And they go back and forth with each other over and over again. Pricey's tyre age will be... He'll be feeling those tyres by now, surely.
I wonder if he's nearing punch territory.
And what can he do to prevent that? Is it just easing off the brakes? Is it staying on the racing line?
Easing everything you can, honestly.
Yeah.
Being really careful on the throttle.
Yeah.
Short shift. Oh. Yes. Just you gotta be really careful. Win. Those tyres do not look nice.
Yeah, I really feel like Monarch wants this win, and he's doing all the right things at the moment. Just staying with that pretty close under braking, but he just needs to be patient. I know he wants the win on the road, but surely he doesn't want to risk a battle with Pricey, who's derating everywhere on kind of 11, 9% ERS. So advantage Monarch right now, especially with the penalty, but on the road I wonder if Monarch's just going to get too greedy and try and get this win. But look at Josh, he's got to within 2 seconds of these two. Here comes Monarch, gets the inside line, gets past Pricey before the braking zone. I think that's the first time he's done that significantly. Yeah, absolutely. But this has really cost Pricey his gap to Josh. He was outside of the penalty zone. Do you think though that sometimes I've certainly seen Pricey sort of not really care about penalties, and he'd rather take the track position?
I mean, ultimately, if you take the win on track, you might feel a little bit better, but Monarch gets the win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Monarch and the team, and the team as well. This is a team game.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I was Pricey, Oh, he's dropped out of the RS, has he?
Well,
I think he has.
My screen's... my tower says 0.1 1/10. And, yeah, the gap, it has dropped out. It has, he's gone.
Dropped.
Wow, interesting. And his ERS, look, it's down to 6%. On the main straight, Pricey! Okay, sorry, that was a glitch. Pricey completely outbraked himself on my screen and then appeared back at the apex. You'll be able to see on the stream that genuinely did happen. It wasn't me getting overexcited about nothing. Josh is right behind Pricey now and is wanting to take second place. Dead. Yeah, Pricey's tyres are gone, haven't they? Good catch.
Yep,
just those 2 laps. It's just those 2 laps that he took to make the undercut. Oh, really interesting strategy calls by these drivers. He tries to to make Josh lose the toe. Josh is coming very, very close here. Locks up into the last corner, but look at the traction difference. Out of final turn, Josh is going to get by and get past before the braking zone, just like Monarch did a few laps ago. It's the final lap. Josh gets Pricey on the last lap. Let's see them through this sequence, and then we'll see the last few corners with Monarch, who's driven a great race and shown really good racecraft and patience on the threat of Pricey here. Beetle just lost a place to Towney as well. So Beetle's long run on the hards may not have gained him anything. Keep an eye, that time is dropping with Beetle. Let's quickly visit them. Did he get by? He has got by on the back straight, so he might keep that through to the end, but Monarch is going to come round the final corner. He's got enough tyre life to get him to the end here. It's going to be fascinating to see how they get on, but Monarch's going to cross the line and take the win in Bahrain for Versace Couture. Terrific win from him, with Josh second. Pricey gets third. Penalty countbacks are done on the top 3. That will be your podium. Waitsy getting 4th place. Does Beetle hold on? Yes, he does. Beetle gets 5th. Towney 6th. Storm has a penalty, but it's not going to affect his finishing position. It looks like a 7th place nailed on for Storm here. He's so far back relative to the leaders. It's almost half a lap, Bacon.
Did take a pit stop. I wonder if he's going to try and snag a fastest lap.
That's true, yeah.
Which, oh, okay. Never mind. Unless he can gain 3 seconds. Definitely looks like he's going for it. Yeah.
And that was the last of our non-lapped runners for Storm in 7th. Won't take us long to go through the finishing order. But Ivan gets driver of the day. Apologies to Ivan for not really watching his race, but I think he was AI for some period of the race, which should, in my mind, discount you from getting driver of the day.
I have to look at that.
But I mean, he gained places. But here's Monarch on the grid. No silly dance, so classy points for that. Wouldn't go with the Versace team ethos, would it? Bit of a Norris champagne delivery, and Monarch takes the win from Josh and Pricey. Has Pricey changed his overalls? Is he in proper branded overalls? I think he might be in blue and white. But there we go. That's the end. Racing, Bacon overall just ticked over the hour.
Oof. Yeah, it might have been a 50% normal race, but I mean, an extra couple laps.
Yeah.
I think this also might be one of the first 100% races that a couple people have done here. So
interesting. Well, we saw the podium. Waitsy got 4th with Beetle in 5th, Towney 6th, Storm 7th. Then Ivan, One Blood, Bruno, 1 or 2 laps down with Ash, Quinn, Pinty, Lightning, Tom and Fry Pepper all not finishing tonight and getting 0 points. Wow. Yeah, that was something else. That was a long challenge. It was action-packed at the start, and then it was just hypnotic and mesmerising to see Pricey and Monarch with their battling for the lead overall, all the way through the race. Very entertaining stuff, and some brilliant driving from our podium drivers tonight. I think Waitsy had a great race as well. Just a couple of small mistakes probably cost him a spot on that podium. And I like the new livery from Prawn GP. I can't call them Prawn anymore. And I do not like the new OWP. Please reset back to what it was. Please reset it back. Gogs is not happy with the livery either. Yeah. We are likely to get Monarch in the chat for a press conference. We've invited our podiums, so thanks Bacon for sorting that out for us. If you have any questions, then fire away, of course.
I'm not very good with questions.
We will come to you for Bacon's final thoughts at the end as well. I don't know how did Ivan stay racing if he reset his Wi-Fi?
Oh wow. Well then.
I thought that would automatically drop you out, but he said he forgot to save his setup for Bahrain short, so he's pretty happy with P8. Monarch, have you been able to join us?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey, Monarch. Congratulations, fantastic win.
Yeah.
That was really hard fought. Pricey pushed you all the way.
Yeah.
What was the?
It was a hard race.
It was a hard race. You're out of breath.
Yeah.
It looks.
It was intense.
Yeah. How was it from your seat? Was it really tense? Are you exhausted now?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about this race was keeping the tires together. Like the first stint was painful on the soft tires. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much percent I had in the end, but wasn't fun. But then after Pricey got a penalty, I knew I just had to stay calm and do my race.
Absolutely. Pricey pitted and made a really, really good use of the undercut. Did that make you nervous? Did you question your strategy at that point?
No, not at all. I thought that it was quite early that he got in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he had some problems with his tires, didn't he?
It's certainly the last couple of laps it looked like they'd gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did look like he got the undercut, but he just couldn't hold the tyres together. But I guess partly that was because you pushed him so hard.
Yeah, I thought I could just stay behind him, save my US till the end, and it worked.
Yeah, it worked really well. How difficult was it avoiding track limits? I think Bacon found you were on 2 warnings quite early on.
2? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I just had 1. Really?
You got 1 on lap 2 and another 1 on lap 16 or something like that.
I thought I just had 1, so I was quite easy on it.
You were very lucky there, yeah. What's the country flag you're racing under? Is that Thailand, Monarch?
That's Thailand, yeah. I'm half German and half Thailand.
Oh, fantastic! So a bit like Alex Albon.
Yeah.
Racing under the Thai flag. Brilliant, excellent. Oh, we like to see different flags on the grid, but you do sound more German than you do Thai.
What?
You sound more German than Thailand.
Yeah. I'm actually living in Germany, so I'm quite often there. So.
Oh, fantastic!
But I can't speak the language.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. That was fantastic. I think the one thing we'd ask you to do is to sort out Waitsy's livery, because it does look like a cheap knockoff of Versace. Yeah.
His color scheme is actually the the first one we had, but we had to change black to grey.
Yeah.
So he has the OG livery.
Well, it's less good, and you need to get rid of it because I love your livery. It's the best one on the grid.
Yeah. That's a lie.
I definitely have to shout out Ruler because he's the best engineer you could have.
Oh wow!
He's in a party, watching the stream, talking about everything, sees everything, all the ERS of the drivers. He's really a good help for us.
Fantastic, actually, yeah, that was brilliant. I'm glad that some race engineering's gone well tonight. So yeah, well done on that one. I know you and Bruder are very supportive of each other when the others are racing. So nice one, great job.
Together, so,
yeah, great to watch you, and congratulations tonight. Well done.
Thanks,
Monarch. Who else joined us, Bacon?
It's Josh, mate.
Josh is here. Hey, Josh.
So
yes.
You worked really hard against Waitsy there. Were you confident in getting past him?
He was doing my nutting, to be frank. Oh no, legit though. Every time I got to him at turn 1, I completely outpaced him, outbroke him, and he just kept blocking me off, and I couldn't go for the second turn because he just kept cutting me off. I was going to spin off him. So I think what happened to him was a fate, if I'm honest.
Well then.
Well, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we did say on the stream we thought you were likely to be getting a bit frustrated because of the penalty difference as well. That you weren't really in the same race.
No, you can't compare that because at the same time he's still fighting to get out with 3 seconds from people behind us. So
yeah. But yeah, it was back and forth all the way through the race. It was exactly the same. The two were 2 ahead, but right at the end, you got away from him with that suspect move of his down the inside of turn 10, and you managed to catch Pricey right at the end. Were you pushing 10 tenths at that point to try and get on the podium?
No, I pitted 3 laps later than both of them.
Yep.
I went for the overcut because I knew. From past that lap 21 you pit for the mediums, they're hard to get round anyways. So what they pitted lap 20 I think, so lap 20 and 21, so I knew their tyres were going to be rough, so I waited it out. It was a bit of a blessing and a curse because I was either going to overcut them and try and get the better tyres, but at the same time it was leaving me with sorry, I forgot his name, the guy that I was battling with.
Waitsy.
Which I kind of wanted to get away from. Yeah, kind of wanted to get away from that, but I think the extra tyre life was worth it. Fry Pepper, and unfortunately crashed out at the start. Yes. He was a wicked engineer today as well. Helped me manage my ERS, because I think I only derated once this race, which is pretty good considering my ERS isn't the best at most times, but yeah.
I think we actually did a bit of a favour to the race engineers today because I don't usually put the telemetry on screen, but it was so intriguing today with the way people were managing it over this short lap.
Yeah,
I think that probably helped all the race engineers, but it's fantastic because actually one of the reasons that we started Formula C was to promote teamwork and drivers' sense of team spirit. That they weren't all going for the drivers' championship, and that they would bring each other up, and I think that's fantastic. Yeah, really, really good to hear that's working.
Could I say though, when I pitted, I think I pitted behind the race winner.
Right.
And I was so nervous because I was right behind him, and I was thinking, oh my god, if this guy's in my pit box and I've got to wait for him, I'm gonna absolutely scream. But luckily, it didn't pop up saying teammates in the pit, so it worked out well.
Absolutely, yeah. And I have to say the livery's looking a lot better this week.
Yeah. Some would say quite Barcelona-esque, but much better than Prawn anyway.
I felt so bad after it seemed to cut Fry Pepper really deep last week when I called it Prawn. Because I know he'd been building it up and he'd been so happy.
It did really funny. No, he's good with jokes, man. He's alright.
Excellent. No, I'm glad you've enjoyed your race. Apart from Waitsy, and you can enjoy.
I need to open the window.
Yeah, you got it. You got it in the end. And talk us through the first sort of 2 or 3 corners. It looked quite dramatic of the race.
Yeah. So I think it was Pricey actually in the blue car. He kind of jittered to the right a bit. I didn't have the braking power to stay behind, so I kind of got not quite free wide, but close to it.
Yeah.
Managed to keep it nice and tight on the apex and not spin it. But yeah, that's just lap 1. Can't really do much with that.
Sure, especially that hairpin switchback sequence. It's difficult. Well, yeah, well done. Great race today, and we really enjoyed watching it. So thanks, Josh.
Cheers, man. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you very much. Are we done, Bacon, or?
I think Pricey, sir.
Hello, Pricey.
Hello,
Pricey. How was that today? Looked like a slightly adventurous attempt on those mediums at the end.
I was on 82% as I crossed the line, so.
I called it.
Yeah. No, like the undercut like did what it was planned to do.
Yeah.
But Monarch just caught up. I think he burned through quite a lot of ERS doing it. And then,
Definitely.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he definitely did, and we were watching the RS quite a long way through. Looked like at one stage you'd used quite a lot, and then you managed to recover a fair amount, which we didn't think was very easy around here.
Yeah, it's I just sat under his rear wing for pretty much the whole race, and just sat and lean and just burned like rich on the straights. There was no need to. And then, as soon as I got the time penalty, I was kind of just like a waiting game to see what was going to happen.
And were you tempted to not battle too hard and try and stay away from Josh at the end far enough for your penalty, or were you just thinking track position, I want to win it on the road?
No, I just think Monarch was just going a little bit too slowly at the end. Like he'd sat out in front of the whole way, and then as soon as I was catching up to him, instead of just letting me go and just sitting in my DRS because he's going to win the race anyway.
Yeah.
Just little bit confused. The same as what he did on the. I don't understand why people were fighting after it's 100% race. It's going to go on for an hour. No need.
Yeah, absolutely, and we lost so many drivers in the early stages, but you managed to keep it pointing in the right direction. The majority of the race. Any hairy moments for you?
Any hairy moments?
Yeah.
I think there was a couple of times Monarch moved a little bit on the braking, and I was quite nervous. And there was a time when he tapped me going down the front straight, or like the home straight, and I was like, oh god, like he's going to put me in a wall. I was like, it's going to be Baku all over again, please no. But yeah.
Did you get a look at any of the new liveries while you were on track tonight?
No, unfortunately not. I saw Beatles and I was a little bit like confused when I saw it in the chat or something before the race, and I was like, huh? And then unfortunately he was my teammate, but thank God he was behind me all race. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And were you in a chat with Storm today? Did you find out how his race was going at all?
Yeah, when we were talking about it at the beginning, and pretty much throughout the whole race, we were talking about when the first safety car came out to pit lap as soon as it came out and go straight to hards, because I'm pretty sure hards can do the whole race.
Right.
Like from lap 1 to the finish. So we were considering that, and then he pitted for mediums for some reason.
Well, Tom the Oracle says only 50 laps for the hards, but...
Yeah, Tom the Oracle did say as well that I would just sit behind Monarch the whole race. If Tom... Is this Tom HC?
Yes.
Alright, if this is Tom HC, if you disqualify yourself again next week, I'll invite you to a party straight away, alright? You can come and race engineer for me.
We have had some race engineers credited with good results tonight from the first two on the podium, so it might not be a bad idea. Waitsy's calling you out, saying you're turning into Mr. Roboto. I don't know if you wanted a right to reply to that.
Mr. Yeah, I'm probably lagging. I don't know what's going on. All I can say to Waitsy is like, what happened to that podium, Waits, man? You bottled it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Pricey. Thanks for turning up and driving hard tonight. Shame about that penalty, because otherwise we would have had you further up. But yeah, congratulations on the podium. Good stuff.
Wait to see you in the stewards, boys.
Cheers, man. Thanks for coming by. Right. Well, I promised everyone in the stream that we would check in with Bacon and get Bacon's final thoughts.
I don't know what to start with. It was
well, that's brilliant. You've had ages to think about it.
I mean, it was a back and forth between Bruder and Pricey for the majority of it, but Pricey was just too eager with track limits by the looks of it. So, I mean, yeah, the race was pretty much done and dusted by the time he pitted and for the overcut, which, I mean, or undercut, but I mean, it worked when it first happened, but by the end of the race, his tires were dead. So, I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Just, any drivers you want to pick out that we haven't already for good performances tonight?
Lightning had a great performance tonight.
I think you mean lighting, don't you?
Yes, lighting. Waitsy was doing pretty good until he had his little moment.
Yeah, it was just slightly behind as he hit that inside curb, and yeah, the margins are so tight when the cars are at such a limit on tyres and G-forces. So yeah, it was good stuff. But it's getting late. We've had a long race tonight, and I'm sure that everyone has got things to report in the stewards' inquiries. Storm says it must have been a boring race to commentate on. I can't say that it was at all. It was pretty fun. I dare say that driving around with gaps in front and gaps behind like Storm did tonight, I dare say that felt pretty boring. But you know, if he sets the calendar, so he decided to do a 100% race. I don't know who else to blame, but yeah, still managed to get the car back to 7th on a different strategy to everybody else. And they were definitely the team to beat today. BMW Sauber looked like they got the best team results, so I don't think he's got too much to complain about. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for turning up and giving us so much to enjoy in the chat as well. Really good to have everybody. Great to have Bacon with us in commentary again. Whether or not you'll be with us as a driver is up for debate. But we're dying to see you back defend that second place in Division 2. But it looks like that's probably unlikely at this point.
I mean, it's doable.
Good.
But Ben is just he's so quick. I need him to have like some sort of like mistake and not have it happen to Dittle.
Definitely.
So
yeah,
it's possible, but it's a shame that I'm missing out this week. So
it is. Yeah. Well, we hope to see you back in the divisional races and back in Formula C very soon. Join us at 6 p.m. Friday night, 6 p.m. Saturday night, and 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll say goodnight now, and we'll catch you all on the next race day.